Welcome to MojoPlays, and today we're looking at the funniest mods you can install for Elden Ring. Before we begin, we publish new content all week long, so be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. Summon Randomizer by King Borhaha. Some players consider summons to be cheating and that beating a boss with them doesn't really count as a victory. Well, many other players don't care what they think and want to battle with their favorite characters by their side. Some might want to go further and lead an eclectic army of summons into battle. For these people, the Summon Randomizer mod is for you. It's also fun for veterans who have defeated every boss more than once. The fights will never get boring as it's a total surprise who shows up to help. Metal Gear Rising Armstrong by Relander.
Upon my name as Armstrong, I have a dream.
Godfrey is one of the easiest bosses in the late game. Like most enemies, they can be broken by simply locking off and walking behind their attacks. So it's only natural a veteran would like to turn up the difficulty. Well, one way you could do this is by replacing him with Senator Armstrong from Metal Gear Rising. Armstrong is infamous for being one of the most challenging bosses in gaming history. You can also play as Raiden if you desire. Hopefully someone adds a cardboard box one day too, then we can simply slip by all the bosses. Froggy Chair Maliket by Rainer Gish. Does anyone remember the Froggy Chair from Animal Crossing New Horizons? For those of you who answered yes, this mod is for you. Now you can bring your favorite amphibian chair to life in Elden Ring. Unlike in the originals game, it's more than just decoration. It completely replaces the model for Maliket the Black Blade. Some fans may find the original design to be too easy to fight, with his animations helping you predict his fight. If you'd like to forego learning attack patterns, making him into a froggy chair removes all his attack animations. Now that's a real challenge. Super Jump by Vosser. Torrent is especially useful for getting around the lands between. The tremendously huge map makes it almost impossible to get around without it. Some players find horse riding to be a bit of a tedious chore and would like a new way to get around. If you happen to feel this way, then consider trying the Super Jump mod. Now you can get almost anywhere in one hop. It's reminiscent of the old Elder Scrolls, where you could slam back 1,000 bottles of skooma and then enter orbit. Unfortunately, modders still haven't added skooma to Elden Ring, so until then, this is the next best thing. Fire-breathing Thomas the Tank Engine by Rainer Gish. If a game can be modded, then trust the gaming community to jam Thomas the Tank Engine in there somewhere. Whether that's making him the dragons in Skyrim, the Deathclaws in Fallout, or the snake from Sekiro. Elden Ring isn't immune to this craze, with modders turning the Limgrave dragon Agheel into everyone's favorite blue train. We genuinely think it's a substantially scarier fight than the original. The sight of his empty smile as he hurls fire at you from above is seriously haunting. If that's not enough, you can also make the Tree Sentinel's horse Thomas. Reskin Overhaul by Garden of Eyes. Now for an absolutely massive mod of memes, it's the Reskin Overhaul, originally made by Garden of Eyes, but popularized by YouTuber Toasted Shoes. It changes so many models in the game, adding in characters from many different forms of media. If you're wanting to throw immersion right out the window, this is the mod for you. Unfortunately, you need to subscribe to a Patreon page to get access to it. It's a shame paid mods are becoming increasingly more common, but on the other hand, it's nice that the authors can profit from their creativity. Minecraft Sword by Sabier. The Diamond Sword in Minecraft is without a doubt one of the most iconic swords in gaming history. Crafting your first one makes you feel super powerful, and that feeling can be enjoyed once again in Elden Ring. Well, it's not quite that powerful, as all it does is remodel the Lord Sworn's straight sword. Still, it's probably intimidating enough to scare off the Elden Beast without a fight. Although don't quote us on that. Army of Mimics by Neoprimal. The Mimic tier ashes are one of the most fun summons in the game, letting you spawn a clone to wreak hell on the lands between. If you thought it wasn't powerful enough, then try this mod, which lets you spawn an entire army of mimics. Now, you can truly feel like the Monkey King Sun Wukong without having to buy Black Myth. Instead, you can just clone yourself 20 times and watch as the toughest bosses crumble to your rushdown. Let Me Solo Her Summon by Garden of Eyes. Let Me Solo Her is the name of one of the most famous Elden Ring players of all time. They became famous for being summoned to fight Malenia, and then decimating her with a couple of katanas and a pot helmet. Apparently, they've beaten her over 1,000 times, prompting Bandai Namco to send them a congratulations letter. Meeting them in the wild is an extremely rare occurrence, but thankfully, the power of modding has corrected this. With this, you can summon them whenever you want, making hanging back and watching a viable strategy. Shrek Prelate by Saint Mid TikTok. The first prelates are hulking knights with a rather intimidating design. They're quite large opponents, making them an obvious choice for a Shrek model mod. If you thought Elden Ring wasn't Shreksy enough, this is the mod for you. Watching Shrek charge at you, flames roaring and a tremendous hammer in hand, is as terrifying as it is funny. Unfortunately, the lore is a bit off since fire prelates don't live in swamps, and Shrek doesn't have fire powers. Maybe as time goes on, we'll get a detailed and immersive Shrek boss mod. What do you think is the most hilarious modification you can make to Elden Ring? Let us know in the comment section. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, there's more where that came from.